Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny. Fruit markets, admin apps inside. Today I need to see this here the add items API I need to call here. Yesterday I need to see here the drop down custom drop downs list and as well as need to multiple selections UI need to creating using here the grid view. Now today we need to creating here the add API we need to calls here inside these programs. Now we need to go here and we need to uncomment first of all. So we need to unused codes we need to remove here because we need to these screens only for the edits at and not for making here the edits. That's why I need to remove unused codes. So need to clean here like this and then after also need to remove these conditions. Like so need to put here for this data need to set here for and then after need to write down here the scroll downs and need to find out here the also change this here the title says a head like here and we need to creating here the conditions we need to put here copy here after descriptions we need to select here the categories now need to check here select main cat is equal to null means here the not found. Please select here the main category like here. Then after need to check here the cat array, select cat array, maybe select categories is length equal to 0. Otherwise, you need to write down here the is empty like this need to replace. Please select here the subcategories of the category and like this you need to set here the image and also need to one more conditions for the image need to write down here the image file is equal to null. Then we need to show here the message. Please select item image. Like this, need to write down here, uncomment this code, and we need to remove this here the this data, and we need to set here the uncomment this code, remove here this category. Like this sets here, and we need to change this here to multi parts, and we need to set this here the string and give this here the image. Fine. Creates here and we need to set this here the image objects to check here these parameters string files need to copy here and we need to set here the string file maps image files image object that sets here the variables and we need to put here like this apply this API and we need to creating like this here after the pop these screens and we need to show this here the message and okay message we need to back the screen save like this here the configurations are the needs here now we need to set here the string objects we need to write down here the to string to set here the select category select main gets like this and then after we need to give this here the categories parameters we need to pass years for the get ID like here. Now we need to find out here the select categories and we need to create here the maps and we need to set here the dynamically need to return this here the get object to list. Maybe issue with this years map comma to join to list and join. Set here the separator as a comma. We need to configure here now. Need to configure this here the element get object C object and we need to return this here the C object dot need to pass this here the get underscore ID like here's need to configure for this UI and we need to set this here. Now after this we need to give this here the image parameters. We need to configure need to create here the brackets and we need to write down here the image for this parameter names and we need to pass this here the image files. Select image question mark like so we need to calling for this here the parameters we need to passing this years and we need to calling here and this is the add API for the add API need to remove this here the updates because not calls here the any update related that's only to naming conversations we need to change this years likes we need to save and we need to calling this years now we need to refresh the screens need to reload this app and we need to try to calling this here the API calls go items creates here the new and to give this here the item names we need to give this here the apple and it it is a small apple like here's and select this here the categories you need to select here the fruits like this we need to set here the two category mixed fruit packs and stone fruits like this you need to set here the directly and takes here the gallery put select here this image and close and to setting like this is now we need to make sure we need to configure this here the add buttons for the API calls we need to set here the submit now need to click here and we need to get this here the missing parameters the categories names and main category subtitles like this need to missing parameters we need to getting here now need to fix this here while like this gets we need to calling here for this API which API add categories maybe wrong API I need to calls that's why I need to getting like this here the errors. Check here the API name category list need to write down here the admin item ads save here now need to fix and we need to try to this here so again need to upload this year's missing parameters item names and descriptions not found here inside this API maybe here's item name and description save here and click against and item add successfully now need to get this here the message need to get here now this screen on so need to call this here the item list API need to call here now need to go inside here the list screens this is the list screens and we need to calling here the list API gets here this API calls uncomment this code like here's, and we need to write down here the admin item list, like here calls item array need to get here's, and we need to check inside the API for the image binds or not, so need to find out here's here not given this here the full path of this image. We need to first of all the fix this here's. I have already copied this line of codes. We need to cut here's and to bind this here the replace with these codes and to set here's. Now need to check this definition functions here are available, and now need to change this here the pods need to calling here, so need to check this pods here the API call pods. 3, and we have to go inside the helpers and replace this here's, save here's. If you give this here the IP address, then to push past this here the IP address, save here's, and to restart this server like here's. Now we need to call this API after the loading this screen, so need to uncomment these codes and to calling this API for the getting here the list, and also uncomment this code line of codes for the list, and also uncomment this code, and need to show here the active inactive and item counts, also uncomment these codes, save here, and make sure we need to go here this item row, and we need to configure this here the related to data we need to pass here's uncomment here's, and also uncomment this code, need to set here the descriptions maximum 2 lines, item name and description like here's. Edit buttons, add buttons like this boots here's. Now we need to change this here static image to dynamic image, need to creating here's. Now we need to set here the catch network image. We need to use here's catch network image like here's. Give this here the image URLs need to put here's. Now need to call this here the objects, get this here the image parameters and to string. Now need to give this here the width and widths like here's, and we need to cut this code and configure this data are the configures. Now need to save here's, and we need to go against back screens and to open this here's and get here the missing parameters. Maybe API names not changed, that's why to look back this here the getting here the errors. Need to fix this here the API names, need to set here the item list, click on back, need to check here which API call, missing parameters, API heads, item head, missing parameters. Here API inside the passing here the categories wise item list need to get here. That's why need to not get, so need to temporary cut these codes and remove this here. These parameters no needs for the checking here's, clean here line of codes, save here's, and uncomment these codes, click on back, again go, and we need to get this here the data, and look like this here the showing. because here the getting data are the not match, not check your admin list, maybe not pass inside the row. That's why it look like this here the getting here the errors. Commit this codes, save here, and I need to show like this data. Apple's image and look like this here the showing here. Now need to set here and need to now this is now working here but need to restore this API because need to not look like this here the setting here the showing all. First of all need to show here the list of the category and then select after need to get this here the item list like this need to internals API need to calling here, that's why need to control Z this API and here's also and we need to save this here and restart. And tomorrow need to see this here the category to wise need to get this here the item list like this logic internals designs need to change here for these apps because need to forget here the designs making times. Now if you like this video please give the thumbs up. If you're new user so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question so please write down the comment sections, I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day, goodbye and take care.